CSS Tutorial. Chapter 2, CSS Syntax and Selectors. A CSS rule set consists of a selector and a declaration block. The selector points to the HTML element you want to style. The declaration block contains one or more declarations separated by semicolons. Each declaration includes a CSS property name and a value, separated by a colon. A CSS declaration always ends with a semicolon, and declaration blocks are surrounded by curly braces. In the following example, all P elements will be center-aligned, with a white text color. CSS selectors are used to find, or select, HTML elements based on their element name, ID, class, attribute, and more. The element selector selects elements based on the element name. You can select all P elements on a page like this. In this case, all P elements will be center-aligned, with a red text color. For example, the ID selector uses the ID attribute of an HTML element to select a specific element. The ID of an element should be unique within a page, so the ID selector is used to select one unique element. To select an element with a specific ID, write a hash character, followed by the ID of the element. The style rule below will be applied to the HTML element with ID equals =1. Here is an example of an ID selector. The class selector selects elements with a specific class attribute. To select elements with a specific class, write a period character, followed by the name of the class. In the example below, all HTML elements with class equals center will be light green and center-aligned. Here is an example of a class selector. You can also specify that only specific HTML elements should be affected by a class. HTML elements can also refer to more than one class. In the example below, the P element will be styled according to class equals center and to class equals large. It will be better to group the selectors, to minimize the code. To group selectors, separate each selector with a comma. In the example below we have grouped the selectors from the code above. Here is an example of grouping selectors. Comments are used to explain the code, and may help when you edit the source code at a later date. Comments are ignored by browsers. A CSS comment starts with /* and ends with */. Comments can also span multiple lines. Here is an example of CSS comments.